when I start preparing a role like Lulu, I don't spend a lot of time with other recordings. I don't spend time with CDs, DVDs, images of this piece. I spend a lot of time with the score and with my own imagination and with my own realm of reference. And then when I start to work with Krzysztof Walikowski, then he brings his realm of reference. And those circles meet, and they may meet only on the edge, or they may really overlap. You don't know anytime. And in this case, I think we have a lot of overlapping, which is fantastic for me, because we're in a kind of a... It's clear that we were on the same path with this character from the beginning.
This is the moment you would leave, and you wouldn't go back, but you would go to the box. So then we have two choices, I told you. But let's see a bit what's happening. I mean, you are leaving.
So I didn't have to struggle against a completely different concept than I already had. We could only work with each other to deepen the character, to make her more and more settled in who she is and to finesse details. And I mean, he made some choices which I admire so much about the character. He didn't victimize her, and he didn't make her into a toy. You know, he really allowed her to be a real person that we don't have to say we love or we like, but that I think we definitely respect.
I was fascinated by the fact that he's developing every detail of his direction out of the materia. He uses the script, he uses the words, and he develops his theatrical ideas out of these words by playing them. He's acting as an actor, he's showing us how he would imagine it to do. And after that, he leaves us alone with it and gives us the chance to develop our things on what he was giving us, was showing us.
This opera is probably one of the biggest challenges. You know, it is the most complex orchestral score, and it is the most difficult challenge to balance this enormous musical world coming from the orchestra with a very busy and very complex and very complicated plot. And the work on stage is always at the highest level of complexity.
spent a large part of my career investing in, I think, what most people think of as very complex projects. It may be that the music is very difficult. I sing a lot of contemporary music, a lot of modern music. I also work, especially lately, in projects where I've had to use other qualities other than singing. So I've been dancing with the Sasha Waltz Company. I started conducting a couple of years ago. I dance and sing at the same time. I conduct and sing at the same time. So now we have Lulu, which is incredibly daunting role, I think, for anyone. It's a very, very big part. It's physically demanding, it's emotionally demanding. There are dance elements in this piece as well. And I mean, I think to play a character like this, somehow you have to incorporate all of those aspects without making it look complex and difficult, because in fact, it's, for Lulu, it's all quite simple and it's all quite natural because she lives by her instinct. So I can't play Lulu as having a difficult time being Lulu, because she doesn't. She actually has a very easy time being who she is.
So that you're asking for people to be very natural with their emotions on stage, and for the orchestra to express these incredible emotions, but also at the same time, as a conductor, as a chef d'orchestre, you're asking everybody to be incredibly correct, and the discipline of the piece requires incredible. So for me, for all of us conductors, it's one of the biggest challenges and the best challenges to take these two worlds and bring them together. I think Lulu is responsible for more headaches with conductors than any other opera. I think Wozzeck, Berg's first opera, very organized, very disciplined, it's very clear, it's very difficult. But with Lulu, he allows you so much into the score, you know, that it's almost impossible to answer every question and answer every call from the score. You know, you see these things he wants. He wants 4 or 5 different intricate ideas to be completely transparent, all the, you know, in a moment, in one measure. Almost impossible to find your way through some of the music. But the truth of the music for me is in finding this transparency and then this deep emotional center to the music. If it sounds like modern music, I haven't done my job.
So how do we make the transition with such a difficult score between rehearsing with piano for weeks and weeks and then moving to the very different sound world of the orchestra? I mean, it's hard, and we have still several days to accustom our ears to this. In some ways it's easier because you can hear individual instruments. I can hear the saxophone, I can hear the piccolo, or I can hear the bassoon, or whatever I need to hear, clearer than if I've got a piano where, you know, I've got every single note played by one instrument. On the other hand, an orchestra is generally less flexible than a pianist. So when we're rehearsing, if we need more time or we make some mistakes or whatever, the conductor can just hold the piano and then we all move on together. Whereas now, you know, the onus is on us to be much more accurate and really to be much more disciplined in our delivery. So that's also more difficult, and I think that the thing that I love so much about working with the orchestra is to really allow each instrument to inform my sound. You know, when I'm singing with the saxophone, that's an incredible color, and I need to join his sound and he needs to join mine. The same with the trumpet, the same with the strings. The listening that goes on, the amount of concentration among us is dramatic in itself. You know, it gives such energy when all these people are concentrating together and supporting one another and trusting one another. It gives, I mean, even as I'm telling you, I start to feel much less tired and much more energetic, because it gives me a lot of joy to be part of this kind of experience. In fact, every time I step into her shoes, I mean the ballet shoes or these high heels or whatever, I step into quite a relaxed person. So all the anxieties that Barbara Hannigan might have about singing Lulu and about remembering everything I have to remember and so on, in a way, once I step into Lulu's shoes, many of those anxieties, they go away. They become somewhere where I don't have to think about them.
Mein Vater?
Ja?
Ich weiß nicht, ob Theater ist.
Ich kann wirklich wohl gar nicht sehen.
Hat so wenig Zeit.
Seine Braut nimmt ihn in Anspruch.
War der Prinz da?
Heute noch nicht.
Kommt er?
And that's very interesting when you're taking on something that's so overwhelming and can give you sleepless nights and can give you a lot of worry. Somehow when I become her, I feel okay.